all trying that inverted V on the roof.
Yeah. Leave the end fed there and you can compare the two.
Yeah,
You can't really have too many antennas.
that's true.
Because if you do, the wind will take care of that shortly.
Yes, yes, it will. Well, I don't want my dipole to fall down. It's going to fall down. Just get over it.
Gives you a chance to fix it better next time.
Or it just gives you another lightning rod.
Wow, last night there was a little of that. Woo!
You think?
Woo!
When was that? Was that overnight?
No.
No, it started at 4:00 yesterday afternoon, and it was real hairy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, all the days run together. Yeah, that was yes. Yeah, I shut everything down and went into laptop mode for work. So
I watched a couple of towers to the east of me get hit with lightning twice.
Oh, fun! Whose
Man,
tower was that?
One was a cell tower, and the other one was some commercial, looks like radio tower between my house and Tinker.
I wonder whose it is.
It's somewhere, but either it was on. I don't think it was on Sunny Lane. It was too far away. I think it was more on Sooner. And it's some type of commercial tower, but it got hit once, and the cell tower they got over there on the tall pole got hit once.
Yeah.
Where do you live, Mark?
I live between Southeast 89th and Northeast 27th just off of Bryant.
Okay. We're within 3 miles of each other.
That lightning story sounded familiar, did it?
Yeah. I'm south of 89th Street, halfway between Sunny Lane and Sooner.
Okay. You were closer to where the lightnings were two strikes of lightning were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had several close ones.
Yeah, I didn't see any close ones, but Charlene said it really reminded her of Studio 54.
She was big into that, was she, back in the 70s?
Yeah, apparently she was. Didn't have anything to do with that back then, but I'd set up a lot of dance floors like that, but yeah. No, it was bad. And man, I'm
Studio 54, yeah, that's what I've heard.
Oh God. Oof. Them were the days. Nope.
So
Jonathan, I have your application and I haven't replied to you yet, and I usually do that, but we had a failure on the website. It's fine, don't worry about it. But that's why you haven't got any acknowledgement from me.
Who are you talking? Oh, John.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, yeah. I was just waiting for a response. Just want to make sure everything was set and ready to go.
Yep. Oh, it's fine. I haven't got back to you because I got distracted by the web thing not working quite right, and it's all fine though.
We're not looking at any more of those. What country were they from?
Oh God. Yeah, I think we are.
Are we still?
Yep.
Mark Grizzle was having trouble looking at the siren stuff today again.
Yep. There's a bunch of them coming in from all over the place, and oh my gosh, it's just amazing. I haven't looked this afternoon. It's been running this afternoon, so I left it alone, and I'll have to go out and clean it out. But there's some tons of foreign stuff. I've put Cloudflare on, and if you're from out of the U.S., you now have to do a CAPTCHA thing to get in, and that's slowed down a bunch. But it's like whack-a-mole. It's like whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
And I've got that going here at that server, and I've got 2 other servers doing something similar, but email stuff. So the bad guys are out there doing their thing. Speaking of which, there's Bill.
Ah.
Hi, Bill.
Hello. Anybody get any rain?
No, nothing here.
Yeah.
Why did you?
Just a drop.
Just a drop. Yeah.
Our old sales guy used to say, "Got damp weather."
Got damp weather. You bet.
Well, I can tell you where I live here. It was reading at 4.05 inches.
For the whole mess.
Mm-hmm.
I
Let
know
me look
somebody
at
here in
mine.
Norman had 5.5 somewhere. I haven't gone to look at anything, but oof.
Well, hey, at least we weren't like buyers down there. They got almost 9 inches.
Wow.
That's a lot of rain.
I'm just a little above 3 inches here.
Are you really? The gal with 5.5 is up there by northeast 12th and Robinson. She's up by that Frisbee golf course. Uh-oh, Wayne's here. Time to leave.
Maybe Bill's got a leaky rain gauge.
Got a hole in it.
Well, he's a lot farther south, and I don't think it got as far as much goo going south. That's bad. So, Mark, your end fed is 10 foot off the deck. How long of footage did we have on the antenna?
Let me think. 33 feet, 36 feet,
What?
33 feet.
That's not even an antenna.
Shorty. Stubby.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What are you getting? 40 and above on that?
No, it actually is supposed to cover. It's supposed to cover 6 to 80.
On 33 feet?
I think it was 33 feet. Is what I thought it was. No, it's 36 feet. Maybe it's 36 feet.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to cover 6 to 80. I've been picking up real well on 40 meters, and I've been picking up okay on 20 meters.
Who made it?
Don't remember.
Oh, you bought it?
I bought it on eBay.
Ah. Well, you should have good luck. Albeit mine was 130 feet, but I got worked all states 20 meters on it, so you should have no trouble.
Yeah, when 20 shows up, 33 foot ought to be fine on 20.
I haven't been picking up too much on 20, a little here, a little there, and it's been fairly clear, but not much. But on 40, I've been picking up quite a bit.
Word I've heard is 20 is pretty much KRAP. I miss the 80s.
Wasn't that a TV show?
Yeah,
The radio station in Cincinnati, wasn't it?
yeah, no, yeah,
WKRP.
Oh, I get confused. All these letters, numbers,
Well, they had the the WKRP Carp was their mascot.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah, when they played against the WPIG softball team, who brought their pig mascot.
I just looked at the secretary. Who is that?
Lonnie Anderson.
Lonnie.
Oh,
That's
never
all I
mind.
watched.
No,
And Bailey,
no, Bailey Quarters. Oh,
yeah, Bailey
please.
Quarters. That's
Yeah.
all. I didn't care about any of the rest of it.
Don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Good educational type show. They proved that turkeys cannot fly.
Yes, what?
Best episode.
God
As
is my
Best
God is my
episode.
witness.
Oh. That was like
Oh, the humanity.
that was like the 6th episode of that series. And
Was it really?
yeah, and they were hitting on all cylinders, all of them, in that short a time. It's incredible. And it's hilariously funny.
How about the tornado episode?
Yes, hordes of godless tornadoes.
God about that.
And the
Yeah.
old teletype at the very beginning.
Yeah, because Herb Tarlick got tired of that damn bell ringing, so he unplugged it. And then Les had to find his script to read, and he could only find the one for the communist invasion. So he just changed communist to tornado.
And how about the one where the Trinity Tower blew up and then Les was going to go on the air to tell people that they were off the air.
I bet that was lost on most of their audience.
It might have been. Oh, it was a good show. Boy, oh boy.
I forgot the young punk dude with the station manager dude was on there.
Andy Kim.
That's okay.
Isn't that his name? No, that's not right. Andy Travis was
Travis.
Travis.
Peter, you would remember way too much about that.
He's been binge watching it since the pandemic started.
No, I although that's not a bad idea.
No, it's-
I usually just watch the turkey drop one at Thanksgiving, just because.
We need to get an ATV transmitter up and fire that out.
Oh man.
Hello, everyone. This is John Comstock.
Hey,
John.
John, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you guys?
Well,
You're-
doing well. Welcome.
One of my favorite shows. You know, and I think since this is kind of the internet and not a radio station, I can say booger. Because Dr. Johnny Fever got in trouble for saying booger on the radio. Got
All I got
fired
is
up in Cincinnati, Ohio because of it.
I forget.
There's more than one person here that's watched that show too much.
Oh,
look at my call sign. It's pretty darn close, isn't it?
It is.
yes, it is.
Oh my gosh.
Was the Booger one the pilot where they changed format, or was that a different one? I guess that was a different one.
No, that was the pilot because that's how Johnny Fever got the job because he said, and I can say booger.
So it was the pilot. Okay.
I thought I watched it way too much. I have nothing. I have nothing.
So, moment of quiet. I've got a question, as always. It's Tuesday night. I save all
Why
my
we're here?
questions. I've got a Icon 7300, and I bought a little desktop computer to put here by it.
I'll take $500. I'll buy it from you.
I'll do 6.
I'll do 7.
So I wanted to hook the two together.
Okay.
And wondering what software to use. I looked today. ICOM's got software. Looks pretty good. But $150.
Win for ICOM. Win the number 4 ICOM.
Okay.
What do you want your software to do?
I mean, I want to be able to operate remotely. I want to be able to sit in the living room and not have to sit here in the ham shack all the time.
Oh, how inconvenient. Your man's going to be Carl when he gets on, but Win4ICOM gets all the cat stuff that hooks all the cat controls for ICOM.
Okay.
And you can literally do anything on the radio. This is Carl's words. I have never tried it. I don't get money for this. You can do anything on the radio from the screen on the computer, and you can do it easier, better, quicker, faster off of that. And then at that point it's on a computer, so you can do remote desktop however you want to,
Right.
to do all that nonsense. But
Unfortunately, this computer has home.
Holy crap, I'm glad I
I
looked
don't
at
have
it.
remote desktop on it, but I do have Team Viewer on it. So
yeah.
Well, Sam, I have a brand new ICOM radio that, in fact, I haven't even opened it. Right here it is.
Are you going to do an unboxing video?
Yeah, you should.
But
What is it?
7100.
7100. I bought the ICOM software to go with it. So I'll if my computer decides to ever start, then I'll let you know how it works.
I've got a 7100 in my truck, and I really like it. It works great for me.
Well, I bought the ICOM software to do the remote stuff. So we'll see.
Is that the Win 4 ICOM stuff?
No, it's the actual ICOM. RB, RS, so I don't know, whatever it is. It's
Yeah.
over there.
RBAS something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got it. Oh, yeah, RS-BA1.
Yeah.
7100 has USB. Yes. No.
Yep.
Yes.
I believe so.
That's pretty cool, man. It saves a lot of trouble.
Haven't unboxed it yet. That's
Fill my cup until I make sure you have it.
I've got it in my Avalanche, and you know, I can do HF and then flip over and do D-Star through my hotspot, and then flip over and hit a repeater. You know, it's pretty nice. Have it all in one box.
That's what's going to replace my HF radio that's in my Go kit. So we'll or Go box. So we'll see how it works. Hey, Mark.
Hey. Hey.
Talk to us about Arden.
Oh.
Where are we
What?
at?
The whole reason I'm tuned in is to hear about Arden.
I don't know how people that spend their nights in front of a telly do it.
The Arden story
You don't want to be
clouded with the sale of
Somebody needs muting.
oh.
No, lots of other people, I'm sure. Not so much us.
Here, I'll click him. The Arden stuff has been hampered by the sale of the
Sandridge.
Sandridge building. Thank you.
I know all too well.
Do you have stuff up there too?
Yes, indeed.
Well, then you know the right answer there, because we've got 2 units up there. It's just a matter of what the future holds for that. And then the idea is we got a bunch of stuff. We just got to get it going. But every time we turn around, we never can get that kingpin going.
Yeah, the current building manager is a guy named Ed Cordell, and he was there during the Sandridge days. And according to him, he may still have a job here in a couple of months, but we don't know for sure. So, but yeah, it's kind of a site in flux.
Yes.
But.
And that's spelled FLUX, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is digital instead of good old analog. So some things don't come through like they're supposed to. Yeah. But Mark, I think I copied you on an email from months back, and I had to like Zoom and join this video thing just to get a hold of. We're trying to do something emergency data communications wise, and that would be a good site if it works out. But even if it doesn't, we're trying to get up to speed on some of this new fancy digital amateur radio stuff, not for voice, but for data.
Yeah, Galen's talked about that, and it is good stuff. It's basically the same as Ubiquity's wireless stuff, if you're familiar with that at all.
Yeah.
What we end up doing is we put a proprietary or a ham piece of software on there that gives us frequencies that, and they're on the screen right now. They give us frequencies in the 5.8 gigahertz range. We have the blue ones. Oh, come on. The blue ones in our commercial stuff, we are the bottom row, and the 170, 171 channel on the top row, on the middle row there. So we've got about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16 different channels on there, which makes it really nice to send data. We have done tests off of Sandridge. From the Sandridge Tower, I've got a unit, actually it's behind me, that
turn that on. You'll get all microwaved.
That this is just a cheapy put it on a pole and let it go kind of device, probably a, I don't know, $40 device. And that unit was sitting in a pickup truck and at Crossroads, and we were able to pick up the signal at Crossroads without any problems off of that device in a truck just sitting there.
So where was your node that you
Sandridge, from Sandridge. So Sandridge from there is solid. Of course, that's a high area, that piece. But we were just testing to make sure the radios were still on since we can't get access up there. We've got a site on campus here at OU that we'll put a couple dishes. We've got I've got 2 3-foot dishes that will point between Oklahoma City and Norman, which will get us point to point on those. And then in Norman, we're going to put up 4 quad devices that go around coming off campus. And I think they're going to put 3 off of the Sandridge Tower to start with. That's going to be our starting point. And the goal is to set that stuff up. It's mesh network. So if there's a signal that if it can't get through direct, it will go around. So if Galen's got one at his place in Moore, and the link goes out, it will bounce through Galen's and go zipping off to the to Sandridge, all without operator intervention. The network IP addresses on all of those are a private, the 10 dot network. So internally, it's all a private network, and then you attach entry points to wherever you would have data coming in. So you'd have an entry point down here at OU, and we could get data out of that. We got an entry point up in Oklahoma City, so you can have data coming in out of that. If either one of those 2 ends fail, you still have internet access going through that. You can VPN into that same network. So if you're out in the field somewhere in a truck, you built the network and everything's great, but you can't reach one of the towers, you can VPN through a MiFi device, and you're on that same network wherever you're at in the world.
Okay. Well, how would one get smarter about the legalities of like hooking, the World Wide Web to that system?
Can't, basically.
Well, you can, as long as it's used for emergency situations, for transferring stuff. Same thing as we're doing transfer on 2-meter stuff.
You're in from Wisconsin. You know not to skate on thin ice.
I've fallen through many times.
Yeah.
Actually, a bump right here. But the concept is, it's as long as it's non-commercial, it will carry traffic. Now, the better part of that is you build the systems on that network, like mail servers and windmail kind of servers that will let you talk in and out of that system and make it happen. So you build that infrastructure. You put on a phone server where you can have a POTS line. So you're in your truck and you're connected in through that data. It connects to the phone server that's wherever that may be, in some good part of the county. I put one at my house and somebody else puts one in Tulsa, and whichever one's working, you can get out of those phone servers that way. So that's those connection.
I'm sorry, Galen, I walked on you. What?
WinLink mode off of that, Mark?
I'm sorry, WinLink what?
Did you put a WinLink node?
Yeah, you can put a WinLink server on there, and then you can connect with WinLink, just like I do from my laptop. You can connect in via TCP, and that's your Ethernet connection to manage WinLink through that system.
Hey, wasn't there a problem with WinLink? Okay, I know WinLink's been having recent trouble because the FCC is trying to say that TLS is not allowed.
Right.
Now, doesn't this stuff run into the same problem since everything's TLS?
Yep. You cannot obscure the meaning.
Well,
I mean, there's serious talk that FCC may force the shutdown of WinLink.
Nah, FCC will never do that.
No, that would take too much
If-
effort.
Not because they shouldn't, but because they don't care.
I know that, but I know that you're seeing that come up more often, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
they're
that's a great point about that, because what seems to be really an issue is the folks who are not real happy with Pactor on HF.
Yeah,
Same thing.
They're using that as the excuse.
Right. So my deal is, if it's on like 5 gig or UHF or something, and you're using more of an open standard like TCP/IP, I mean, I don't know where to go with that, but as an emergency manager, I look at WinLink and go, this has an application if we can work out it being more reliable. So I have to tell you all my story from last Tuesday. We tried to use WinLink in a public safety communications drill where we just had random people sending us emails. So I couldn't whitelist the emails. So there was a vetting process to get them into WinLink. That's another story for another day. But the bottom line is HF conditions were horrible last Tuesday when we were trying to do this test. And at one point I had like 40 baud per second on HF and I had 20 emails to answer. So obviously the math didn't work out there. So that's what Galen and I started a discussion about. Well, could we do this on VHF, UHF, or something else? And this Arden sounds like it could potentially be a fit.
Yeah, it's high speed, it's normal data throughput rate.
Just extra Wi-Fi channel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's standard Wi-Fi, and we're expecting 150 megabits between Oklahoma City and Norman on standard stuff. I've got 2 3-foot dishes that should put that up a little bit higher. Our goal is to go from Norman to Oklahoma City to Tulsa. I know there's a bunch of interest in folks wanting to connect to it. It's one of the things that, chicken and egg. We just got to get the north, the Sandridge building story figured out, and then make it connect.
What are you using for feed points to get onto the internet?
Various whatever we got for internet, at each location.
I mean, if I remember right, doesn't allow, like, you could actually, like, I could set up a node at my house to be a feed point. So
Right.
it just uses OSPF to get in and out, doesn't it?
Right.
Heck, I'd be glad. I've got enough IT stuff to do all that. I could
Yeah.
easily be a feed point.
Yeah, and there's tons of us that can. That's the easy part. And then we've got other guys that, like, for instance, the DMR folks, we're wanting to put a lot of that DMR traffic on that network.
That's a good idea.
So
I mean, that's a good idea.
It will link around the state on our own network.
Yeah, that helps. That helps with one of the weaknesses of DMR, of linked DMR systems, is the IP network it relies on.
Keep it multi-homed in that range, so you can send digital mobile stuff out. And Larry out there in Blanchard has got limited signal, limited internet, but hooked up to this, he could grab anything he wants for his D-Star and Fusion and all that stuff. So I think it's a good deal. It's the same story as far as any other emergency, as far as legal stuff. Same as any other mode. It's just
Discussion about like a backup plan for Sandridge, because I'm actually worried about that for our public safety stuff. While I'm sitting here, I can't give you clarity on whether we'll even have access to that in 6 months.
What I understand is that it should work from the ham contacts that we've got going there now. But you just got to get through the purchase and the sale and all that stuff. Make it all happen. But I understand it's supposed to, this access for us, the emergency community, should be the same. Is the feeling that they have now. Backups, yeah, there's probably tons of places we can start looking at, but nobody's done anything.
Yeah. So do you have any hardened stuff on Sandridge now, or is it okay?
Yeah, we've got two devices, one port in southeast, one point in southwest. That's what that one I had was talking to. And then the DMR that's up there actually links through a commercial ubiquity off to the northwest, kind of by Baptist Hospital, somewhere in that range, or whatever the hell we call Baptist anymore.
Yeah.
So it's we've been using ubiquity on that kind of stuff forever. It's the same commercial software or commercial hardware that we use on houses. I've got one of these on my house for the commercial frequency range, and they work really well. It depends how much money you want to spend. I've got some circuits that run probably 9 or 10 kilometers, and they run true throughput of 980 megabits across those. I've got one here on my tower at the office that runs back to about 9 miles, and we get about 150, 160 megabits on that, and that's cheap gear that's on that one. So
using those little bullets to do that.
These are the dishes, the 2-foot dishes, are those kind of things, the point to points. But the bullets will work to get to like to the Sandridge or to the others. The one I've got.
I love ubiquity gear.
This rocket's the one that we connected from Crossroads Mall to Sandridge.
Yep.
So I get those all donated, shall we say. So I don't know what the prices are, but I think they're $50-$60, somewhere in that range. Oh, look at Peter.
You're doing all 5 gigs, so you're not worried so much about the potential of loss of 3 gig.
No, the 3 gig is just like 220. There's not much signal and not much equipment on 3 gig. And in fact, the 3 gig stuff costs 80 to 90% more than the 5 gig stuff, just because nobody's using it.
Yeah.
So 3 gig to me, I work with a guy that we've got 600 of these devices out on a network, and I don't know. We put up a couple 3 gig transmitters, but there's just not many of them out there. There's no reason to spend the extra money to get in a clear frequency. So yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. The 5 gig is the place to be. You get into the 20 gig, 25 gig, and you get rain fade. So that rain the other day at 25 gig, 25 gig, somewhere in that range, you'll start losing data.
You'd probably have about the same band or same throughput I had on HF last Tuesday.
Maybe not that bad, but yeah. Well, that's, those HF modems are only one. And what are those? They ran them faster in the Pactor 4 for the Hurricane folks, but I don't know. That's like 1200 baud, isn't it?
I don't. The
remember. Fast stuff's 9600, I think.
Yeah, I just know that Pactor 4 mode is illegal because of the bandwidth in normal times, unless the FCC does a
STA.
Yeah. I've been playing around with a sort of freer version called Vara that's working pretty well, and it doesn't cost $1,400 for the modem like a Pactor modem costs.
Yep.
Good evening to everybody.
Hey, Ken.
Hey.
Hey, Ken.
You guys making sure all that lightning storm you guys had last night?
No, that was east of us. You got it all. There was none here.
Man, looked like somebody was really getting it.
Yeah.
Talking about bandwidth, just wanted to mention that JT9 bandwidth is only 6 hertz.
Yeah. How many emails can you pass at 6 hertz?
All of them. It just takes a while.
It just takes a while. That's correct.
Hey, man, they pass messages through number stations all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they got a code book at the other end.
Hey, by by the way, for any of the Mac people out there, Flex Radio, or that guy who created the iOS app for Flex Radio, finally released his Mac OS app, and it's not bad. It's finally, you don't have to do any Windows booting or VM or anything. So there's a native Mac client finally for Flex, and it has FT8 and FT4 built into it.
Oh, macaroni and cheese. Awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about computers. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's that whole ubiquity thing, and even if the state has to go to a commercial license, that should be something that could be picked up pretty easy.
It's not like ubiquity stuff's expensive.
Yeah, and each emergency manager, all it has to do is pony up their little portion to get on the net, and off they go.
Well, realistically speaking, there's only literally a handful of people or a handful of emergency manager organizations in the metro that Gayland and I would even be able to, dialogue about that. Most of them, we have not as many people as we would like participating in our radio drills that on a routine basis. They're really big on checking in on mail and text, but and there's way too much reliant on this thing called Oakwind, which is the public safety radio system in the state. And
we're from Norman. We can't spell that.
Right, I get that because you have your own system, new and better. Yeah.
We have a public safety slush fund, and we can't find things to spend the money on, so we bought a new radio system.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, it's P25. So, yeah.
They could have connected up, but they're not gonna.
Oh, really?
Oh, sure.
I mean, they're not gonna?
No, they've got an ISSI box. They're doing some connection to the Oakwind.
Oh, they're gonna. Hey!
Already are.
Yeah, it has been.
Don't get too excited. They probably won't send all the traffic from one radio system to another because Oakwind generally doesn't have a lot of capacity for things like that. Especially the farther out you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. The death bonk. Yeah.
Hey, John.
Yes.
I got a series of emails this afternoon from one of our colleagues that indicated that they were looking at wanting to know about buying a Bofang because they wanted to be able to talk to their local club, which is good. Given who it was, I'm like, yeah, that'd be fine. I said, and if you need, I've got the programming software for it, and would be happy to take care of that for you. And they answered back with, I have to program it. This person apparently has never ever, this is what they said, has never bought a radio before. So given who it was, I thought it was snarky, but it wasn't. It was a serious question.
They use crystals, right?
Yeah, he gets to practice being an Elmer, which is awesome. It's Elmer night, so go forth and Elmerize, Gayland.
Oh yeah.
They use crystals, right?
Yes, crystals. You buy them at Radio Shack, $4.95 a pair.
Pair? They come in pairs?
They come, transmit, receive.
Oh, yeah. I've still got a couple radios that have crystals in them. Wonder if they're any good.
I've got a Hallicrafter's VHF low band tunable receiver, and it's actually got 2 crystal spots, but I don't have crystals for it. So I should get the Highway Patrol crystals and stick them in there.
They still have a low band that works?
Yeah, they still have a low band, yeah.
They do. They're trying to get away from it, but it's
for 25 years.
Exactly. But there is actually a move afoot now to get them off of low band, an actual serious move. more than we've seen in. But yeah, they use low band in the Panhandle and Northwest Oklahoma and Southeast Oklahoma, and pretty wild to think that it's 2020 and our state law enforcement is using low band.
Is that upper or lower sideband?
FM, buddy.
FM,
FM, and none of this narrowband crap either. It's full bandwidth FM.
That's right. Full bandwidth on low band. Yeah. And in the summer, you get to practice your Spanish because you have the fishing boat and on their frequencies. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
This should have been the last solar cycle that we'll hear that stuff, but yeah, that's what we said last solar cycle. So, and actually in the one before that too, come to think of it. But
And the next one.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Wow, 44. Look at that. 44 megasquiggles. Huh. Yeah, that would be the one to get the
44.9, right?
44. Well, it depends. They have
44.7, 44.9, 45.22, 45.18.
Yep.
It's sad that I know those. Yeah.
If you ever had a Bearcat 100 handheld scanner, you remember them because the battery compartment was so poor, you had to poke them in about every couple hours, usually.
That's why I know all the old Oklahoma City police frequencies, because we had those scanners, and every day when you turned it on, you had to program the scanner. So, yeah.
Oh, 158 something on one of them, right?
Do what?
158, 159, is that right?
For the city.
It's trivia night. 158.79, 158.97, 159.09, 159.03 and 03. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like an idiot savant on frequencies, but more on the idiot side than the savant.
Yeah. What'd you have for lunch? I have no idea.
We could have a contest because I'm the same sad way.
Yeah. I can't remember her old girlfriends' names, but I know what frequency the Highway Patrol is using in Northwest Oklahoma. Probably why
a good thing.
Girlfriend. Yeah.
42.6. Huh. That's statewide.
I didn't think Oklahoma had any 42 stuff. Did they?
Radio Reference says they do.
Well, they have a license for it, but what they run into an issue with, on 44 megahertz, and you're using the regular type of antennas that you would use, they're kind of picky about the tuning. So that's why their mobile transmits were 44.9 and 45.18, because those were the two closest frequencies they could use for the mobile transmit antennas. And so when they try to use those 42.6 ones, well, gosh, their range doesn't work as well for some strange reason.
Talking about crystals, I've still got a 8-port Radio Shack scanner that's got crystals in it, like 154.74, and I think it's got 710, which was us.
Is the International Crystal still in business?
No, and that it hasn't been that long, but they're gone. It's been in the last couple of years. Yeah, it's really just in the last 2 or 3 years, it's become really hard to find crystals.
Yeah.
There's a guy out of Atlanta that looked like he had a bunch. I can't remember who that is.
They're probably reclaimed from Galen's old scanners.
No, they would cut whatever you wanted. It's a ham call sign.
I say, I've got a box of them. What do you give?
Really? What do you have?
Oh no, I'd have to go back. I mean, I've got a scanner full of them and then a whole box of extra ones.
Because when I lived in Chicago, somebody gave me an old Pro 7, realistic Pro 7. Get this, branded Allied, not realistic, but at that time, that's 20 years ago now, I went down to Radio Shack and I ordered the crystals I needed for Chicago. And even in 2000, that seemed crazy that you could still do that, but it worked great. Fire department was on VHF, cops were on UHF.
That would never happen anywhere.
Well, not now. But 20 years ago, it did.
Well, we had the same thing here in Oklahoma City. Yeah.
I've got 3 of them. Well, one of them's not on. The Regency's not on. I don't think I have crystals for that one.
Yeah, I had a scanner, one of those crystal scanners back from Wisconsin days, and brought it down here and it didn't work. Couldn't figure out why.
Hey, Galen.
Yo.
I got a good one for you. I had a neighbor tell me today that his father-in-law called him from Heber Springs, Arkansas, and told him that yesterday he had a tornado on the ground that missed his huge shop building by 850 feet. Shop building's still there.
Well, that's too close.
Way too close. Yeah.
He said he watched it go across the field out there and missed his shop building.
840 feet still left.
Yeah. But it's kind of wild.
I got a box of crystals.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you, Bill, but I can see them crystals.
Yeah, I have a box of crystals. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have an awful lot of crystals there.
Ooh. Ooh.
3 pages worth.
Wow.
Ooh.
He's even got them organized.
Yeah.
What's the matter with that guy?
You guys all ought to get together, and dump all your crystals out on the table and sort them out, and have a crystal.
I used to belong many years ago. I used to belong to the Radio Communications Monitoring Association.
Ooh.
And that's how that started in Southern California. Is guys got together to swap crystals. That was how they started.
Well, Lyndall's, I don't know if he's on here. Lyndall Smith said that's where he met you, Peter, was at an Oklahoma City scanner group 10, 15 years ago, something like that.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that. Holy crap.
You remember going to those?
Yeah. There was a bunch of us. It was only a small group, but yeah, we'd meet at restaurants around the city.
He said, oh yeah, I know Peter from the scanner.
Radio Reference, yeah. The Oklahoma talk group thingy there, whatever. News group. Oh, I didn't realize that. Holy cow. Now I got to think back. Geez, what did I say to that guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
He came back, so it must have not been that.
Or he's forgotten, just like I have. So.
Yep.
Oh, man. So Mark.
Yes.
LifePo 4.
Oh, batteries.
Yeah.
So the nominal voltage for those works out so that when you put 4 of them together, you end up with 12.8. Is that right?
I thought it was 16.
Well, I think if you go one more, I think it is, but
I thought it was 16 on those because that's what everybody was worried about, that extra volt.
Well, it's easier to buck an extra volt than it is to boost one that you're missing. And that's my only concern, is that if I do 12.8, how is that gonna, I don't know, how is that gonna, because the radio will run on 12.8. That's not a problem. It's only really when you get down to like 11 that it becomes a problem, but I'd rather do 13.8. And of course, that's the great thing with lead acid is that's exactly what they are because that's how it was all designed. So,
Well, you could put a diode in series and get 0.6 of a volt drop.
And that's what everybody does is they put that in there. 3 cells says our webpage battery webpage shows 3 cells will give you 11.1 and 4 cells gives you 14.8, but they peak at 16 volts DC. And that's what everybody panics about. Now, an ICOM 7300 is plus or minus 13.8 plus or minus 15%, which is 15.96 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Which now the KX3 has a do not exceed of 15 volts.
Yeah, I mean, you got to pay attention, obviously.
Yeah.
You could put 2 diodes in there and
that's right.
That low, just switch them out.
Yep. And Peter
Core is his name.
Core and
Bad
Thomas
Peter.
Lay have done others. Peter 3.2. Peter just popped in somewhere with a 3.2 volts per cell. That's what he said.
Yeah, 3 point. That's what I'm looking at here too. Yeah, so 4 of them in series makes 12.8.
Okay, so Peter Core, how come we get in trouble with the over voltage stuff? You can send me another message and I'll look at it.
He must be over on YouTube or something.
I think he's on YouTube.
Hi, YouTube people.
Yeah. What kind of batteries y'all talking about, Peter?
Lithium ion. Or you're talking about LiFePO. That's the difference. You're talking about
LiFePO 4. Lithium
iron phosphate.
Thank you. I knew.
So you get some free batteries somewhere?
I wish. No, but the plan has always been to do everything DC in the shack that I can. My computer actually will run on 19 volts, like it's basically the laptop voltage.
And
so
they have a step up for that.
Yeah, boosting one of those buck boost converters to take care of that for whatever it draws. But my display is the same way. It runs on 14 volts. And then, of course, all my radio stuff is 13.8 nominal.
And Peter says it's the phosphate is what gives you the 3.2. So I'm talking lithium iron, you're talking phosphate. So that's the difference.
Okay.
That's the difference. And I've got one of those.
Isn't that the BioEno? Aren't they LiFePO?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
And
there's a guy there that has something in his hand. Oh, BioEno. Look at that.
Oh, that's a LiFePO. Yep.
There it goes. BioEno.
And on our battery page, SCAR's battery page, w5nor.org/battery, there is a video that runs through. It tells you how much a nerd you are if you watch it more than once. And they talk about, this guy shows charging and discharging batteries and compares nickel or lead acid to BioEnos and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And you will never buy anything but a LiFePO 4 ever again. You will never buy a lead acid again, because if you look at how much power is actually in the battery, you get so much more out of those BioEnos than you do off the others. I've got one here in our storm shelter.
Yeah, you brought one to something a long time ago, a test session or something.
Yep,
and I thought it was like a demo thing that was empty. It had been drained of all its precious bodily fluids because it was so light. And no, that's just how those are.
Yep. And they're half the weight and twice the power. And then the big thing, if you watch that video, is they show the curve, and it just goes out there and sits flat forever.
And then boom.
Drops.
Yeah.
So if you integrate underneath the curves, the power you get out of it is amazing. You can't afford lead acid batteries if you, is the way you come up with it. If you're not going to use it, it just looks pretty. Buy a lead acid.
Now, do these BioEnos, do they have the BMS built in, or do you have to provide the management?
BioEnos have them built in.
So you just hook it up to some wire and it'll take care of it?
Yep. They actually have a charger that that comes with it, that charges it correctly and does all that good stuff.
What's the current rating?
Oh my God, they're scary. Depends how much money do you have is the right answer. They will actually build you a pack for whatever you want. You know, if you got the money, honey, they got the time. I don't remember what they're good for. Mike, do you see it on yours?
He's getting a beer, I think.
Is someone calling me?
Yeah. What's the current rating on that battery you have? What's the output?
Current rating?
Yeah.
Currently, it's not rated. Oh, let's see.
Serious, he got his glasses out.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. It doesn't say on it.
I don't think I'd buy a battery if I didn't know the current rating.
Does 20
Oh,
amp?
it'll tell you. They've got all kinds of stuff there on there. Well,
I don't know. 20 amp max continuous discharge current. Is that what you
go.
mean?
That's it.
And what would you say that battery pack weighs, Mike?
Oh, well, 80 pounds.
Yeah.
This weighs, I don't know, maybe 4 pounds. 3.
20 amps continuous.
Wow.
Now, what does it give the amp hour rating?
12.
12 ampere hours.
Wow. At 20 amps. Holy cow. I mean, it's
not going to last very long.
It's not going to last very long, but the fact that it can do it is.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can get 25th of an hour.
I think this
It'll-
one I have 30.
I can listen all day with it and talk with regular talking, or like FT8, probably 4 or 5 hours on it.
Wow.
This
Amazing.
is my, and the little one, I have a 25 amp too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you look at the prices. That one is a 12 amp. Let's see. What did you say? 12 amp hour?
No, 20.
I thought he said 12 ampere hour.
12 amp hour.
You're right. Yep.
Yeah, 12 amp hour is $124.
Yeah.
And
They're
that's
not cheap, but they're handy. I mean, instead of running wire in the truck to the battery through the firewall, one of those under the seat is perfect for the truck.
Yep. And you can I don't know what they claim. They claim it's 50 to 70% lighter than an SLA battery, and you will get 80 to 90% of the rated capacity, where a lead acid you'll only get 50% of the rated capacity. So literally off the bat, that $125 turns into $70.
I can turn 120 into 70 quick too.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long. No.
Turn $120 into zero quick.
Yeah.
No, I like them. They're very handy.
Yeah, it looks like it would be.
And the chargers take care of everything. There's a thermal cutoff or an overflow. Have you overcurrented yours, Mike?
No, I don't think so.
You can overcurrent it and you can run it down too low, and the charger will supply. There's a high voltage pulse you got to put in there, and the charger takes care of all that.
Oh yeah, because it disconnects everything, right?
Right. Yeah, it says
To save the battery.
It says, sorry, that's going to hurt the battery, and it will shut it down.
So does that 12 ampere hour for $124 include the charger?
Yes. Yes.
It did?
No,
That does.
I don't think it did. Well,
this-
there's
the
two
6 amp
prices. You can
does.
click one and it'll give you the price with the charger, but the same charger will charge all their different sizes.
Okay, 139. So the charger's $15 is what it looks like.
All right.
Yeah,
But
because
it's
they're putting the smart in the battery, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Actually, in each cell, if I remember right.
Oh well, Yeah.
And then you can get the little solar panel that fits right in your rest of your stuff, and you're good to go all day long.
It'd be good on the RV, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, that'll get you to. I've got I've got a converter on mine. I have lead acids that are hooked to a Astron power supply, and I've got 12 volt. My monitors have got 12 volt input on them, and my laptop's got a buck converter that goes 12 volts to 19 volts. The only thing I don't have, and you talked about it, Peter, was the OEC's fiber box is still 110 volts, and that's new for me. A year or so old, so I haven't gotten an inverter on that one yet.
There's no DC input on that. I thought I looked at that. I don't remember. Who's that talking? Who's got their radio near their mic or something?
Yeah, probably me.
So who's got more antennas put up? Mark had good results from an antenna up. Who put something up else? Who else was there? I saw Paul floating around. I guess he boogied. He was putting up an antenna. Anybody else do anything before the rain came in? Ken's there. Surely you got that vertical up by now, don't you?
Me?
Ken. No, Ken.
Oh, the other Ken.
Sorry. Sandmore. AG5 Papa Quebec.
Yeah. PQ.
I'm still playing with that little 20-foot Shakespeare.
Oh, really?
I'm making DX contacts with it. It's just unbelievable, really. I did set up the vertical dipole on the DX Commander, and I pick up about an S unit and a half switching between those two.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, the dipole is definitely a lot stronger.
Well, they're both dipoles, right?
Pardon?
They're both dipoles, right?
Well, one's a vertical with a it's an L basically.
Yeah,
because it has a single counterpoise.
Inverted L?
About 2 feet above the ground.
No, it's a real L.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's a real L. It's a vertical quarter wave with a single counterpoise, and it works surprisingly well. I was in here on that little Dreamcatcher loop antenna that Thomas had given away the other night, and picking up Mexico City. And I'd actually set up an antenna outside, but I forgot to switch over to it. I tried to make contact on 1 watt, but it didn't work.
Which antenna is that? That's
I turned
Conrad's?
the power up, and it didn't arc, but it didn't really get out when I realized what I was doing. But,
Is that Conrad's antenna?
pardon?
Conrad's antenna?
Thomas.
Oh, Thomas Hayes. Oh, he's left
the loop antenna that he gave away at one of the meetings anonymously. It's just a little piece of coax and a tiny little capacitor, but it tunes up. You can listen with it.
How big is the loop?
It's a viable receiving antenna.
How big is the loop?
Anyway, it was nasty out that day, and I had to set that up. But
how big was the loop, Ken? Is that?
It's only about a meter diameter.
Magnetic loop.
Yeah, mag loop, 1 meter diameter.
Yeah.
With a tiny little variable cap on it, but it tunes up in 20 meter, 40 meter, tolerably well. I mean, for what it is. I usually hook it up to my SDR, to my the SDR play thing. But anyway.
I talked about putting up a beverage, and I've got the beverage. I've had it up for a few weeks now. I don't know if I had it up the last time I was on here or not. But beverage is really really good receive antenna.
You were doing that. How big a wire did you put up?
I put up, it's about 330 feet long, pointed toward Australia.
Did you hear anything?
Yeah, it works good. It's just a receive antenna.
Yeah. I have a question.
We have an answer.
If I have a 3 or 4 element beam, 20 and 10 meters, and I want to put a 2-meter vertical above it, does that work? Do I need a certain amount of space, or do they interact?
Yeah, I don't think you have a problem at all. Just stick it up there.
So I can come a foot down from the tip for the beam and put the vertical at the top?
Well, you said you're going to put the vertical on top of the beam. So the base of the vertical will be on top of the beam. If you get it up a foot or two, that's all you need. You're two different long ways apart frequencies there.
Mm-hmm.
And you've probably got a more problem figuring out mounting clearances. You know, that you got mounting and coax connections and all that kind of stuff. That physical distance is probably going to get you in more trouble than electrical distance.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll figure it out.
But you know, depends what antenna you got.
I don't have either one yet.
Oh. Yeah, usually people put it 4 or 5 feet above just to get it out of the way.
Yeah, if you can get it 4 or 5 feet up, you'll be good.
Okay.
I've got a 5-element homebrew 10-meter beam, and I've got a 40-meter full-size rotatable dipole, only about 5 or 6 feet underneath it. No interaction at all.
Okay, good to know.
Full-size 40-meter rotatable dipole. 66 feet long rotatable dipole.
Wow.
Yeah. Holy cow. Armstrong rotor on that, or you?
Yeah, it's got a big rotor on it. It's got the same rotor that I used to use for my EMP and not my EME antenna, which was 4 33-foot boom M-squared antennas. So it's the same rotor for that. Has no problem turning that.
I'm glad you said EME. We had there's a moon event coming up in next month. I don't remember what it is, Harvest Moon or something. And we were
Who's
trying
getting
to come up
mooned?
with, what?
Who's getting mooned? What?
Exactly.
The harvesters.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to get. I think it was Shep, one of our guys that deals with a lot of the Girl Scout deals. They're trying to do something with that moon event. I'll find it here in a second. But we were trying to say, yeah, maybe we can do some RIDI stuff where we could let the girls listen in on either a Zoom call or something and have their phones decode RIDI or something like that. And he came up with the idea, maybe we try an EME kind of thing. Ken, are you still set up for EME or?
No, I'm not. I've got the EME antennas down, and I've got the 5-element 10-meter beam up on that same tower. And the 40-meter rotatable dipole is on my EME tower. So I'm not set up. But it would be very difficult to do that on a strict schedule, you know. You work EME, you can't say we're going to get on at 5 o'clock. Do it. The moon's got to be there for both people to see it.
Well, that's what this is supposed to be a big. Let me see.
Well, the EME contest is coming up. I don't know which week. There's different weekends for different bands, but that's coming up in September, October, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? I mean, could you hear anything with the Yagi, our little tape measure Yagi?
Well, with this
And who's transmitting?
With this antenna that I had, I could work stations in Europe, and some of the big boys you could hear their signal, but it was it's a digital signal. You're not hearing a voice. And
you putting up FT8 or something?
No, we was using JT65, and CW.
I was thinking CW is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Let's see, what is
But
it?
they have some other modes now that are similar to FT8. And we have a new mode. I'm a beta tester for a new mode now. It's called FST4. And it's going to get down into the noise about minus 35 dBs.
With a variable cycle length, right? Not
Yes.
strictly 15 on, 15 off. It's different or something, right?
Yeah, there's some different, there's different modes and there's different times. So the one I've been working on lately is 900-second transmit on and off. And we have one that's 30 minutes on and off, but I don't think anybody's interested in that. But
That'd be 400 dB down below the noise, right?
5 minute on and off is 300 seconds. It seems to be good. I'm copying Australia on 630 meters on that with that. VK4 Yankee Bravo is transmitting. Also, there's a station in Arizona that transmits whisper. He's got a whisper beacon going. You can hear him 24/7. He was one of the guys that was in the experimental license with us, and he kept his experimental license. He's actually running about 20 watts ERP on 630 meters, transmitting a whisper beacon.
Can you work him as a Part 97 station when he's a Part 5 station?
No, I can't.
Oh, it's Whisper, but it doesn't matter. It's not, you don't work somebody on Whisper.
No, you don't work somebody, but he has a ham license also.
Yeah, but he can't run 20 watts,
No,
right?
we can't. No, that was the problem. See, we was all experimental. We could run, my license allowed me to run more power. When we was legal, I had to drop my power down to 5 watts DIRP, whereas before we was running about 20.
Damn it. Damn it all to heck.
That was a kick in the gut, man.
Well, that's a lot of dB.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And a lot of fire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You
Well,
can get that by, remember John's page down there in Texas?
Yep. Yeah, this is that International Observe the Moon Night is September 26th. And Peter Core, if you're listening, that's something we might think about doing a RIDI kind of thing and chase it off. And Steve said maybe some EME. I saw something that said you could use a 10-foot satellite dish as an EME. Has anybody tried that?
Yeah, there's a lot of people using, but it's on 435 megahertz.
How much power do you put out for that?
Again?
How much power do you need for that?
You could work Europe with on 435 with a 10-foot dish with about 100 watts.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. But 100 watts on 435 digital mode. Key down, we're talking a key down mode, not.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's not the 5,000 watts that.
No.
Oh, Peter Core says SSTV. We might try for the moon thing.
Never.
Send them images like we did last year.
Yeah.
Via moon
I was saying ready. Yeah, good thinking.
Via moon bounce.
Well, we were thinking about doing it out to
through the repeater.
Oh,
he was just Peter took his slow scan stuff over to the OU, and they had one of the observing nights, and was transmitting the pictures that they were getting out of their telescope over the repeater, and we were all doing slow scan at home.
I remember that.
Yeah,
yep.
It was fun.
We had our I had my cell phone hooked up to the Bofang and just shooting out images, and they're trying to think of something to do for the Girl Scout thing, and that's what's going in.
Hey, I got a text from some YouTube scum, some Gary Skaggs guy. Apparently he's not on
here.
Zoom.
And Phil's here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Phil. Oh, there's Gary right there. He's not YouTube scum. He's right there. So many little boxes.
And Phil snuck in there on us too.
Yeah.
I think the slow scan TV would be more fun for the girl.
Yep, that's exactly. I misspoke. I was saying RTTY, but slow scan TV is what that. And it'd be kind of fun to put something up and let people listen to EME kind of signals coming back. But I don't know if anybody's got anything set up to do that. Mess.
So you got to track the moon. You got to have a 20 dB gain antenna. And
Okay, wait a minute. 20 dB. I've got a 22 element VHF. What does that give us?
I don't know. I had 17 elements times 4.
Oh, jeez.
On 33-foot booms.
That's a lot of gain.
And I was running 900 watts.
Oh,
there's a 1.2 kW M squared amplifier that I run about 900 watts. 5 watts in, as a matter of fact, and 900 out.
That's smoking the moon.
Yeah. And mine was not a huge setup compared to some of them. Well, Dave down in Texas that had the big
truck chassis
antenna down there. They took a tractor to rotate it.
Yup.
I know I worked this guy in Estonia. I don't know what their legal limit was over there, but he didn't mind telling you he's running 5 kW. You get up to 5 kW, man, your coax better be up to par.
Better be hard line at that point.
It has to be.
This is a picture coming out here now is Marshall Williams. This is from the March 1975 issue of C&E, Collector and Emitter, back in the day.
Wow.
And Marshall Williams posts or makes final adjustments on his 240 element antenna for 2-meter moon bounce.
Wow.
And
was he a local guy?
He's Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma
City. And I've talked to him. I've talked to him recently. He that was
when he was on the moon.
No, we were talking about him at lunch one day, and I pulled him up on the internet and I asked Michael Salem. I said, "Is this the guy?" He goes, "Yeah." Well, he's got a different call sign. So we sent him an email, and 5 minutes later, he was on my phone, and somewhere in South Texas now is where he's at. But
yeah, Marshall, he is big on this EME contest.
Yep. Oh, is he still doing that?
Yeah, he kind of organizes it.
Oh, really? Salem said he's been up to his house, and he said, if that thing's less than 5 kW input power, I'll eat my hat. He said, you don't string that many power panels together just for a 1500 watt signal.
Yeah, I came in, I did one of the EME contests, and I came in 9th worldwide with my setup, and I didn't miss I was only a few contacts down from the guys who was way up 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Wow.
It's very difficult to do the contest, for one thing.
Yeah, it's the moon.
The moon, it's a 500,000-mile trip there and back. And a lot to do with conditions, and man, it's tough.
What conditions get you in trouble there?
Not being able to see the moon. But you can hear signals coming off the moon, but you're not going to be able to hear voices or anything. No. And the Girl Scouts wouldn't, I don't think, get any. And you really couldn't do any slow scan TV off of the moon. It's a digital mode. A lot of times you get decodes, you don't even see the trace on the waterfall. They're minus 30 dB decodes, and some of these newer modes that we're working on now, it's going to make EME even easier with less power. And the big boys, they think we're cheating whenever every time we come out with a new mode, somebody thinks that that's not fair because they didn't have that new mode whenever they worked the moon. I remember whenever there was bitching about us using single sideband. That's how old I am.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you think complaining about DMR is something new.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember
Always something.
when VHF was going to ruin amateur radio.
Yeah. I remember.
It did. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I did. I remember building a double sideband little transmitter, put out maybe 10 or 15 watts, and I was driving a Gonset 500 watt linear with it, and it was double sideband. That was back when sideband was pretty new. I was on 80 meters talking to these guys in Kansas, and back then there was no one had any rules about whether you was an upper sideband or lower sideband on what band, So this guys are talking along, and they said, let's switch over to upper sideband. I said, okay. I didn't have to do anything because I was already transmitting on both sidebands, They never did know the difference. Well, back then, the only way you could get rid of that other sideband was a Collins mechanical filter, which was a fortune for me because I was just a kid,
Yeah, back then, that's half the price of a good radio.
Yeah, I can't remember what they were, but it was out of my price range.
There's Marshall's current radio or current array. It looks like.
Yeah.
On the video.
Yeah, that's him. I get an email from you every year telling me about the EME contest.
Hemp Hill, Texas. I don't remember what Hemp Hill is.
First weekend is in 2 weeks, isn't it? First EME weekend?
I don't remember.
Sometime in October, just September, I think.
26, right around the 26, something like that.
2.3 gig and up is 12th and 13th, and then October 10 and 11 is 50 through 1296, and 28-29 is 50 through 1296. I guess to let the moon move around so that everybody gets a chance. I guess.
I have a QSL card from Hong Kong on 2-meter moon bounce, and you only have about a 2-hour window, and everybody in the world's trying to work him at that time. I was just lucky.
That's what that 5KW for.
Say again?
That's what 5KW is for.
Yeah. A little bit illegal, but.
Yeah.
The guys on the moon probably won't say anything, so.
Probably not.
Well, the Chinese have that repeater out there in the
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
nadir point. That's why. So with a 10-foot dish, you think you could actually hear and transmit off the same dish?
Yeah.
What are they using for a feed horn?
I don't have a clue what they're using for a feed horn.
What frequency?
Normally we're at the low end of the band.
UHF probably, right?
Yeah, at the low end of
2-pound coffee can.
No.
Yeah, I've seen that done. Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah.
Be in the VHF UHF ARRL book.
Years ago, I built a feed horn out of a 1-pound coffee can for $12.96.
That's how we built those home box office receivers. It was 1-pound coffee cans.
Yeah.
And a little dipole in the back of it.
Yeah.
No. You saw that done. You didn't do that, Phil.
I didn't actually do that.
For legal purposes.
I didn't have one of them on the roof of my house either.
Yeah.
And it's not in my attic right now.
With a snow sled?
Yeah. With a sled.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a semi-parabolic reflector.
when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie.
He's mooning us, isn't he?
Hey, Mark, you could use your big monster satellite dish.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. Is that one of them up that way?
Mm-hmm. That'd work.
The C-band.
Mark, you could do it on the cheap. Mark, you could do it on the cheap by just putting the Yagi up there at the right distance and pointing it at the dish.
Yeah.
You got enough Yagi. Yeah.
Well, a lot of those guys use the C-band antenna and they put the correct feed horn on it.
Yeah, I've got a couple C-bands.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is it a wire mesh or solid?
Wire mesh.
Mm-hmm. What's the diameter?
10 foot.
Yeah, you could definitely do moon bounce with 100 watts. Can you get 100 watts on 435? Gotta be, able to key down for 2 minutes without burning up.
It's in the ARRL antenna book from a couple years ago. It shows a dish with a coffee can feed horn.
Oh, it really is a feed horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't kidding.
Would we pull your leg?
Well, I mean,
I would.
Have you seen me walk? Skaggs pulled one of them just darn near out of the socket.
Yeah.
Well, the can's got to be a half wavelength.
Can you get a coffee can anymore? They're all plastic.
That's true.
Put tinfoil in it.
Now you're getting the tinfoil out again.
No, Mark,
well,
you could
I'd save that for my hat.
Depends on the brand of the coffee you buy.
Mark, you could still get the Hills Brother coffee in a metal can.
Oh.
But is it lead soldered so that we can solder to it?
Well, I doubt it.
Probably not anymore.
Well, and let's see, I had a LNA up at the antenna too to get some gain up at the antenna, and I did not use the preamp in the K3 receiver. Turn that off. Use the remote preamp up at the antenna.
Did you have temperature feedback, or did you just manually control the LNA frequency, LNB frequency?
No, it was a preamp up there. This is not a dish. This is 4 Yagi antennas.
Oh.
I had a preamp up there. Of course, you have to sequence everything. You can't. Got to make sure you switch things off and on without.
Yeah, it doesn't play too well if you parallel in 2 Yagi sticks that are 180 degrees out of phase.
And when I transmitted the input and output of the LNAs grounded.
That's right.
Actually, I had 50 ohm terminators on them.
That's where there's stub tuners that you learned all about coming handy.
Yeah, that can't be a short. It can't be a direct short. The wires aren't connected.
Gary, are you in your new house now?
Oh, Lord. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we were? No, we're actually back another week.
Okay.
What are you missing?
A lot of stuff that's not done right yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
As long as your arm.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Did they launch did they run that LN6 SpaceX doodad down there yet?
Well, I haven't heard it, but I have found a good place to observe, and I don't even have to go across the river. There's a place between here and Port Isabel that you can get right out on the on the south side of the peninsula, and I mean, you're just looking right at the launch site. It's like, well, it's 10 miles from our front porch, but if I get down there on the south side of Port Isabel, it's like 3.5 or 4 miles. So pretty dang close.
In the debris zone.
Exactly. If it blows up, I might, I'm ducking.
My mother-in-law's 40 minutes by car from Vandenberg. And
That's a little rumbly, isn't it?
they come flying over her house. And she'll take a picture and send it. Said, "Uh-oh, what just happened?" Looks like Sunday. SpaceX is going to launch 3 rockets on Sunday, weather permitting. Two to Falcon 9s, 9 hours apart on Sunday. Wow. And then
They need a hobby.
and the SN6 is going to go out of Boca Chica for the little low hop, another low flight. Wow.
Yeah, that's the one that we can see from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Boca Chica launch site. Literally 10 miles from the front porch. When they were doing the crow hopping several weeks back, they had the road shut down to Boca Chica Beach all day long. And yes, there was bitching and moaning. It's a nice beach, by the way.
There's the live shot from there right now.
Yep. They're busy little beavers down there.
30-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
Oh, it was great this morning. Holy moly.
That little beer can's what's going to fly.
That's what it looks like, actually, to me.
You're all crackly, Gary.
I'm not surprised.
Have they figured out internet down in that part of the country yet?
It's Spectrum, and it's mostly good, but every once in a while it'll just buffer like nuts. Even though when I do a speed test on it, it says I'm downloading about 100 megabits per second, but it still buffers. So yeah, I think it's because we're out on the end of the wire.
Who's the provider?
Spectrum.
You got a nice little fire going on the left-hand side there on the screen. I don't know what that is, but
Mike, would you like to check in K5 MAF?
Oh, am I on audio?
Yes, you are on audio. Yes, you are on. Oh, do you want to check into our tonight's net, Aries net?
You want to come back to me? No,
I'll put you down for a courtesy call. How's that?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Check me in.
that was Michiganders.
Sorry. My
Thank you
humor's
guys
not
for
good.
participating. We've got Mike on Zoom, so we're wanting to include him in tonight's net. Moving on, K5 RJL.
Ron was here before. Where is he? Oh, he's just not here.
He's checking in on the net.
Oh, there he is.
I don't know. Are we having a test session this Thursday?
Affirmative. If you're coming, please sign up.
Ron, I just got N5 UWY said yes, affirmative, need to sign up.
And wear a mask.
I didn't tell him that.
Wayne.
All right, I'm
Wayne,
putting you guys
He'll
on
get it
the
on the email. When he signs up, I'll fill him in.
Yeah, it's on the website. Wayne, did you get an antenna up this week? Mute. There you are.
No, I didn't, but I did make some progress. I actually measured from the back of my house out to my tree line, and I have 190 feet, so that gives me a little bit of room to do something.
Ooh, 130,
you know,
130 footer would be good.
Perfect.
So I'm off all next week. So my plan is to try to get this shack organized some and try to get something going.
What kind of antenna are you going to put up?
I think that I've got a G5 RV I've had for a while. I may throw that up there and see how that works out for me.
If that doesn't happen, 130 foot's a good good length for a end-fed antenna, where you can just go up with something off the house and run it to the back, to a pole on the back fence line. And
Well, and I thought about that too. There's actually a tree back there that's probably 20 foot tall, depending on how high I can get it and if I can even get something up in it. But stretch, you know, like I said, I had 190 feet, but 130 would be a good length. I don't know. You know, it's one of those things where, hey, I can do this. Hey, I can do that. But what actually is going to work?
It's all going to work.
What bands are you going to work?
Mostly up through 40. I don't do a whole lot on 80, but you know, probably 10 through 40.
Has 10 meters been open lately? Anybody tried 10?
Yeah, there's a net every Wednesday, and Mike said he's tried to check in. He's shaking his head. Nope.
No luck lately.
In July was good, but
yeah, earlier in the summer was good, and I don't ever even see any waterfall activity on 10. I can't even do FT8 on 10.
try FT10
on 8. Yeah.
Oh, there goes Peter.
No, I'm right here.
No, you're going to go build you a 10-meter antenna and go get it.
No, I've got a 10-meter antenna.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, and I'm one state short. And I worked a bunch of guys in Missouri one night. And you think on FT8, you think they would upload to the? No. Worked 3 of them.
Show me. It's a show me state, baby.
Well, yeah, I guess they showed me.
Is that your last state?
Yeah.
MO?
Yeah.
Wow.
For 10 meters, yeah.
The close-in states are kind of tough.
They are. That's why I was excited to work 3 of them one night.
Yeah. Took Andrea forever to get Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only missing 1 on 17 and 1 on 20 and 1 on 80. The one I'm missing on 80 is Alaska, though, so.
You'll get it this winter.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a friend in Alaska. His name's Lawrence. We call him Lawrence of Alaska. KL7L. He is doing he's doing an underwater antenna for low band.
A what?
It's an underwater wire that he's doing on 2,200 meters. It's about 2,200 feet long, as a matter of fact. And
this is to talk to submarines?
No, it's the 2,200 meter ham band.
Come on.
Underwater?
No, here.
No.
While you're on the computer, Mark, go to KL7L. See if you can find any of his videos. His name's Lawrence. KL7L is in Wasilla, Alaska, and his latest. I wish I had. I wish I could had it up where I could give you the URL. His latest YouTube is showing that. where he's got about 3 of them in that lake. He backs up to a lake. He's north of Wasilla, which is north of Anchorage, and his property gets pretty close to this big lake, and he's got, I think, 3 underwater wires running out in this thing.
So do we just randomly put wire? I don't get this.
Yeah, I don't explain this to us dummies.
Yeah.
Did you find anything on his videos?
No, I'm seeing.
Do just Google KL7L and click on videos. I guess I could look.
KL7L video.
Oh, there's your problem. You're using Bing.
There you go.
There's a scope match. I seen that's his right there. That's Lawrence right there.
Yeah.
Oh, right. The girl there on the left?
Yeah. He's pretty nice looking, isn't he?
Sure.
I don't see anything. I saw his videos. I just didn't see anything on underwater.
Yeah.
It's not a loop, is it?
Oh.
Beverage, winter inspection of the screen, Pave Hawk overflight.
I think he's pulling our leg.
I think he is too. I think he's hoping we were drinking as much as he was. Hex beam. That's what I got to put together is that hex beam that's all broke up. Underwater. 3 wires going out there.
Did you find something?
No.
Oh, see the one with the meter?
Yeah.
Is that him? Because he's got an analyzer that looks kind of like that. That's it.
That's him, but I just don't see any. Oh, there it is, underwater receiving antenna.
That's it.
That's it.
That meter he's got there is $5,000.
Oh my.
The antenna analyzer. Well, he works for the oil company. What do you expect? You know?
Oh well.
I think he works for Phillips. He was in Bartlesville. He was here in Bartlesville for years before he went up there.
I guess I expected nothing more than an underwater antenna to look like that.
Yeah, they're kind of like water.
Oh,
squirrel.
Oh, yeah.
An eagle?
I don't know. It's a turkey, I think. It's WKRP's bird. What was that, carp?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Carp. Yeah.
There's that meter that's. You got audio?
Yeah.
He's showing you where the wire goes.
Right
That
out there
way.
in the lake.
I think he drinks some frosty wheat sodas.
Yeah.
You think
What do you-
our neighbors think we're crazy? What about his neighbors?
I know. What does it receive? Fish? Whales?
There's at 475 kilohertz. So that's at 630 band.
Yeah, it's 630. He uses it on both bands. He copies me up there all the time with that thing. See that meter?
Yeah. Agilent. Yeah.
I thought I'd sure like to have one of them until well, that's his tuner right there. Maybe he'll open it up.
That's his loading coil, he says. That's
Yeah.
137 versus 2200 versus 630.
Yeah. Only he would think of doing something like that. You look at the number on that meter. I don't remember it. Maybe you can see it. And
Hope that's waterproof, that meter.
I think it's water resistant, but still don't want to drop it in the lake.
Well, it's raining. That's how.
Oh yeah, that's right.
6.5 gig,
Yeah.
9914, N9914 alpha.
Somebody Google that. See how much it's worth.
Phil probably knows. Where's Phil? Let's see. Got one of those?
What was that again? N9914 what?
Alpha. Hey.
N9914.
So Gary, did your flagpole get up?
Thinking of closing this later.
Not until we get the house negative.
Oh, okay. That's a to be determined later project.
See,
Thank you, Lee.
that won't even
Appreciate that.
that won't even be started for another month or two. Sadly.
There's a 9914 N9914A on eBay with a 1-year warranty. I don't know if this is used or not, and it's only $10,395. So
We need one of them for the club.
sure.
Well, Phil's got a 40 gig one.
Seller refurbished. This one is
Wow. And it's only
10,395. Yeah. There is a make offer though, so you could offer them $50. See what happens. Free shipping.
Imagine. There's another one for $76.50.
Yeah, but is it seller refurbished?
Oh well, that makes a big deal. I mean, yeah. There's another one for $19,750. Let's do that one.
You're just saying, how many hams can afford that for an antenna analyzer? It looks a little better than my MFJ.
Let's send. Hey, give me that. I'm gonna send that over to Salem. See if we can get them to buy us one. Woof! The battery's $205. Heck, that's
Wow.
four of my little
There's
doodads.
this tuner. Look at that.
There you go.
Oh, not much to it, is there?
No.
It's interesting that he kept the knob inside. He didn't bring that out. I guess he probably doesn't tweak it much.
No, that's weather. That's why it's weatherproof.
Well, yeah, right. Good point.
And it's receive only, so
Yeah, that's true.
if it drifts off a little bit, it's probably not going to hurt anything. It's just amazing to me that he'd even think about doing something like that. He sent me videos before where he had to go out in the wintertime to fix his antenna because the moose's antlers would tear down his wires. And he's out there walking around with snowshoes on and 4 or 5 feet of snow.
That's what Mike will be doing here shortly.
Yeah, that's right.
September 1st, has the snow started, Mike?
No, summer's still here until next weekend.
Oh, okay. All right.
Then he'll start getting the snow.
Okay.
Oh, got the sweatshirt on.
All right, Mark, when you get that figured out, let us know.
Yeah, that's first of all, I don't have, my pond's not that big, so it's not a big deal. It's not going to be a big enough deal. I think I'd put up my little sky loop first. Crazy.
still working on your big loop antenna, Mark?
I still haven't gotten a chance to do that. I've been chasing lots of other little animals, so
Yeah.
that one hasn't come up yet. But yeah, I want to put a big loop and listen. Actually, what I want to do first is get that SDR up and running with I've got that mini whip antenna that I still don't understand how it works, but
Just for receive?
yeah, receive only.
Mm-hmm.
One of those kind of
So, active antenna?
Active, one of those kind of guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of board that's in it. Little power board, and then that's the 2 transistor amplifier that makes it happen. And I want to put that on listening to in front of a SDR. I've got a PP SDR.
So what band you gonna listen?
Question now.
Probably 7, probably 40 and 20.
Somebody had a question.
So you mentioned a while ago, I heard you mention something about a beverage antenna. I've heard that before. So what exactly is a beverage antenna? I mean, is that like a Pilsner or a lager?
Yeah, it's a long wire.
Yeah.
Long wire, receive only, low to the ground, terminated at the end.
Directional in the direction of the wire.
Yeah.
Is it long wire, or doesn't it have some?
No, it's a straight wire, as straight as you can. It doesn't have to be straight, but better if you have it. Mine goes from the eave of my southwest corner of my house to the southwest corner of my property, 330 feet. That direction is toward Australia, and it starts out.
That's right.
At the height of my eave of my house, and then at the far end, it's only about 5 feet off of the ground, and it's got a 270 ohm terminating resistor going into a ground rod, and you can really tell that it's directional. Yeah, there he's bringing it up. That's a loop there. He's got on the screen.
Are you saying it's directional and off the end
off
of the
the
wire?
The beverage is directional off the far end.
It's designed for really long wave stuff. The medium wave DXers use them a lot too.
Yeah. 160 meter guys use them.
Yep.
Gordon, when he was chasing the DXCC stuff, every year he'd tear it down and move it to the area that he needed.
Yeah, point it where he needed it.
10 or 20 degrees.
Yeah.
And run it. I always thought it was kind of like an hourglass shape. I got something screwed.
No,
up.
You're thinking of rhombic.
That's what I'm thinking.
The rhombic is similar, but it takes up a whole lot more room.
Yeah, and it wants to be off the ground, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. The beverage is a low noise receive antenna. And I've done this before on 80 meters years ago with 80 meter vertical, and I could work these guys in New Zealand and Europe on 80 meters, but I was just barely hearing them, and you could switch in that beverage and they'd just pop right out of the noise, man. So I was receiving on the beverage and transmitting on a vertical.
Hey, Peter, in UWI, would you look at your chat, please?
Hey, Galen, did you get your 7100 set up?
It's what I made the first broadcast on the Aries net a minute ago with it.
All right, yeah.
It's just sitting here on the desk, but it's not where it's going to go. But
yahoo!
There you go.
It's up and running anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, it is. Kind of, anyway.
You're looking at the traveling wave antenna there, Mark?
It shows the beverage.
Yeah, that's a traveling wave antenna.
Yep.
See the resistor?
Oh, is that got Oh, I was going to ask about that. That's traveling wave antenna.
Mhm.
Okay. What are you looking at? What page is that?
Wikipedia.
But thank you. Of the 8 billion articles that are on there, which one is that?
one that starts with a B.
It's the internet.
Oh, it's on the internet. Oh, I've got that on my computer. Let me go look. God.
It's in the chat. Average antenna.
Oh, that is. Oh, okay. All right. No, I thought it was a generic antenna one because I thought you were showing another one before, but okay.
Well, they had a long, they had it looped.
Ah, gotcha.
That's double.
I've got an old antenna handbook that's got that loop in it. But Mark, you have enough room to get a good long beverage up. You could do some good with it.
I never thought about doing a beverage. I was always thinking rhombic, but
rhombics are pretty hard to build.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But you know, for this, and don't they have a beverage on the ground?
Yes, I've done that before.
Og.
But I think we discussed this before. It's got about a 40 dB loss, but it's really a quiet antenna. But you still have gain in that direction. But you could do a beverage and point it as much land as you've got. You could point it a different direction every year.
Yeah.
So the input on that beverage is, I can't remember. It seems like it's 9-to-1, a 9-to-1 coil, and then the terminating resistor is 470 ohms.
What
Yeah,
what
that
do you
makes sense.
what do you feed the beverage with? It's
I'm using RG8X, but
oh, you are. Oh,
a lot
okay.
of people, you can wind a 9-to-1 coil that has a 75 ohm and run RG6 cheap stuff on it.
Yeah.
You know? But
The quad shielded cheap stuff.
yeah, I'm a RG8X works good for that kind of stuff for me.
Well, because all you're doing is running to a ground rod at each end. You know, put a ground rod out there with a 470 ohm resistor and a.
You ground it at both ends, really?
No.
Well, you ground the other connector.
Shield is grounded on the antenna on the feed line.
Oh, yeah, okay. Because there seems like there's a reversible beverage too, where you can.
There is. It's a 2-watt beverage, and I've been tempted to do that sometime and haven't got around to it because the way mine is set up, if I could do a 2-wire beverage, I could point toward Australia and Europe, which would be beneficial.
What kind of, when we're talking a 470 ohm resistor, surely it's not just a 1/4 watt.
You need a non-inductive. A 2-watt is okay. You're not transmitting on it, so you don't have to have a real high wattage resistor, but it's got to be non-inductive.
This guy's from Oklahoma City, WB5UDE. I don't know who he is, but Jim Glover. There we go. Usually 500 to 1,000 foot long.
Yeah, 1,000-footer would be nice.
Wouldn't it though?
Well,
see, I could go out through the woods and then show up through probably 2 neighbors' properties and they'd never notice it.
Yeah, I've got a neighbor behind me. I could do it, but I've never asked him. But you know, a lot of guys put that beverage out in the wintertime and then they take it up when mowing season comes around.
Yeah.
UDE. Okay. QSL net UDE. All right.
Jim Glover.
Yeah, if you've never tried a beverage, Mark, and the land that you have,
yeah, that's probably what I need to try, one of those.
Oh, he's here. Oh, that's what you said. Okay.
Yeah. He was complaining about power lines in Oklahoma City.
Would a beverage antenna for the higher bands be shorter?
Right. To really have a good beverage, a wavelength would be nice. Some people think 2 wavelengths. I think you can get too long, but I wouldn't go more than 2 wavelengths. You could do that on the higher frequencies pretty easy, but pretty hard to do on 630 meters.
Yeah, 80 meters would be what? 240 feet for
Yeah.
wavelength. 500. Right. That's at 500 range. Yeah, that'll get you 2 meters, 2 wavelengths.
Yeah. And a lot of people use electric fence insulators and.
Well, that's what I was thinking, is just put some T-posts out there.
Yeah.
And just put electric fence insulators and just run it out.
Yeah.
Knock a few T-posts in and take off.
Those are pretty easy to put in the ground and easy to take up when mowing season starts. And
yep.
If you're gonna do it like that, you can put that thing, T-post height, and run 1,000 foot of it toward Australia or somewhere. And this winter is a good time to test it out. It really would be noticeable on 160 meters this winter.
Yep. Yep. Huh. Very cool. Very cool.
Pretty easy to put up.
Yeah. Well, fence posts is just drop in a few fence posts.
Mike, I'm sorry.
What's Uncle Larry doing over there in the Big Blanchard area? You got anything going?
Not much. Put a 30-foot tower on the shack. Don't have anything on it yet, but other than that, not much.
What are you going to do with that?
What was that?
What are you going to do with that 30-footer?
Probably a disc cone and a collinear UHF VHF.
Disc cone, just a scanner listener?
Just for a test bench antenna.
Got it. Got it.
Good evening, Lucky WX.
There's a Lucky. I haven't heard her in a while. Good for her.
Have a good evening.
Wow.
It was not me. It was not me, guys. My radio is off.
How's the big casino? You got them putting an antenna up there for you yet?
I'm trying to get they might actually want me to start doing some of the work with their radio out there. The guy that's been working with it seems to not quite know what he's doing. So
what?
I didn't realize. Yeah, they've got 5 repeaters out there.
He definitely does. At Riverwind?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
really doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, that and apparently they still have problems with dispatch. Night before last, they lost communications with Goals. And running on generators, so they went to backup power. Well, they don't have enough power to run for all of them backup. So, yeah, I'm just kind of standing back and laughing.
That's a good place.
Yeah, it's pretty comical at this point. So,
hey, look at that bus go over the edge of the cliff.
There it goes.
5 repeat. What they got? 5 different.
Yeah, don't try.
Yeah. Just think of all the interactions, all on UHF, or what's their?
yes, and it's all Motorola stuff. I mean, from the banks that I can see,
and
you know,
one
pretty
good
decent stuff.
DMR.
They just don't know how to.
I think they are on Moto Turbo, Mark.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
What?
I think they probably believed everything the Motorola salesman said and bought one of everything.
That's 10 simultaneous transactions.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the Capacity Plus or whatever the trunky thing is that Moto Turbo can do. I don't know how that works really, but I bet that's what it is.
Either I've got a program cable coming from into MOT, and I'm going to take my laptop out and I'm going to hook it up to that handheld, and I'm going to download the stupid thing and just see what they're doing. And then somewhere down the line, maybe offer my opinion and see what they want to do.
Turn off 4 of the repeaters.
Hey, I've got to go. Galen, I saw your stuff and replied.
Peter, did you hear what Lee said about Thursday night?
Galen and I went back and forth in private chat. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm signing off.
Sir.
Bye. See you later, Peter.
Bye.
Say Bill. Say Peter. Or were you saying goodbye, Bill? Your audio was goofy.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you, Bill.
Yeah, really low.
It's almost dead on the audio.
Gee, that's the quietest I've heard, Bill.
And getting closer to the camera doesn't help.
Don't change it, Bill. Perfect.
Has it been this slow on other Zoom meetings?
You're barely there. It sounds like it's pinched audio. I don't know what mic you're using.
Are you using a normal microphone, Bill?
No, I'm just using the one in the computer. The one I have been using for all the time.
Okay. It's just a little low.
Kind of like little holes full of rags.
Yeah. I was thinking Cheetos.
Well, I don't talk much anyway.
There you go.
Perfect. Now it works.
Did you blow out the Cheetos?
Cracking me up.
Blow the hole out.
Yeah, I guess.
That's perfect. It was probably stroked way back on the auto volume thing.
Oh.
We keeping you up too late there, Mikey?
Hey, it's almost 10 o'clock.
Jeez, it means you're an hour past your bedtime.
That's okay. I have tomorrow off.
Really?
How's the foot feeling?
Foot feels good, but I'm wearing a boot still. I want to go to a smaller boot, which I probably
25
will.
years? What do you have for that?
What's that?
Another 25 years of that, or how long do you have to have that boot?
A couple more weeks.
Oh, that's all. That's not bad.
You don't want to have to go backwards. Trust me.
So,
Yeah.
but it's making me walk funny, and so my side hurts.
Oh.
Yeah, I believe that.
You'll find muscles that you didn't know you had.
Yeah, it'll talk to your sciatic is what it'll do.
Sonic's got the up camera shot there.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he up shooting me.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
Oh, at least
he's showing you the good side, Mark.
We're fixing to get the back side.
Not gonna say it. Not gonna say it.
All right, I'm out, guys. So I'll talk to y'all later on.
Put your antenna up next week.
All right, Wayne.
We need a report.
See you, Wayne.
Good seeing you, Wayne.
See you, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out
So
too.
long.
I saw where somebody said it's Dodger baseball time, and I realized it is, so I gotta go.
All right, Sam. Glad you got to see us, Sam.
Yeah, information this week, man. You're blowing me away here, but anyway, see you next week.
Okay.
Take care, Sam. Be safe.
You guys didn't even notice. You can see my back wall in my room now.
I saw that.
Got all of that crap out of here.
To have a garage sale?
Not yet. That was all old inventory that I'm gonna probably take to some flea market and just get what I can for it.
Hey, Mark, didn't we talk about a couple of weeks ago or a month ago about it was brought up at one of our Zoom meetings about having a local ham outdoor parking lot type deal where everybody brought their junk and sold it, since we're not having
Well, the Edmund, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. The Edmund swap thing is September 12th. They're doing that one up there September 12th, where you can bring all your goodies and swap and shop and do all that stuff at the whatever the Edmund
And
Electronics.
he also said that he's going to try to do something to where that meet up there is not on the same weekend that we are scheduled to have club meetings. So, but be interesting to see what our mayor's getting ready to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Shows here at Radio Reference Casino Talk Groups shows 6 of them. Decimal 100,
Yeah.
103, 120.
Yeah, and look at it, there's 5 or 6 different frequencies that they're running on too.
Yeah, they show.
So I don't know.
Yeah, 5.
I don't know if they're running all of those talk groups on each one of those frequencies and redundant. I don't know.
It says red, or the red's the primary control.
Yeah, and that's the one frequency I have in my
462, 175.
Motorola, and it doesn't pick up any of those talk groups. So I don't know what they're doing on that frequency. I'm getting ready
Well,
to
that should be
plug in
control.
the
That's
other
where all the data
4,
goes through.
And
the blue is all.
you would think.
Because they don't have any alternates list. I guess the rest are all alternates.
Yeah, the other 4 are alternates. So
you
I
got 2 for security, 1 for food, 1 for games maintenance, and 1 for parking shuttles, and 1 for transportation.
yeah, but they have more talk groups than that. They have 3 securities, 2 polls, surveillance, food, gaming technicians, which is different from IT. Then they also have the hotel and outside security, and the Santa Fe building has its own. So they have several more talk groups than what they list. So that's why I'm gonna
learn some stuff.
Borrow the data cable from John and hook it up to this laptop and see what it's, what is showing. Cause I've got Trumbo already. And if it is that other, there's a different aspect of that Trumbo that I think they might actually be using.
Yeah, that's the way it's written. It looks like there's a control channel, and then the idea is it just it blasts it out whatever radio, whatever repeater's open. So it'll kind of trunk them. If I guess
Right.
My guess
is because the dispatch has got like 8 different radios going at the same time. And they're talking on multiple radios, not just us as security.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to get out of here.
Well, I'm glad you came.
Good talking to you guys. See you next time.
Take it easy.
See you, man. Yeah, it looks like they've got them all lined up. So if you're closer to the number 3 repeater, the data channel will say, I'm getting a better signal out of 3. Send that signal out here.
Yeah, I'm bringing up my Trumbo. It's the Capacity Plus, I think, is where they're running a lot of this stuff. I don't know. Which I should be able to use all of my talk groups, set up the frequencies, and for receive groups and everything else should be the same, unless they use it underneath that little, it's just its own little entity in Trumbo, is the Capacity Plus. And of course they have an emergency, which cracks me up, is when the dispatches go down, the dispatchers don't want to turn it off, but there is another zone, and it is radio to radio.
Okay.
I think Peter's right. I think they were told a lot by a representative of Motorola, because Motorola knew that it was a casino. They would have.
Yeah.
See y'all next week.
And they would buy.
See ya.
See ya, Mike. Stay warm.
That they would end up just spending a boatload of money, and then whoever this guy is that has the contract with them, I've already been told, is just a joke. And they're kind of waiting for somebody else to come in and possibly do some more work for them. So I don't know if I want to add it to my list of things that's in the fire out there already or not. So I might just let them eat it and let them deal with it.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark.
Yep.
Did you send a newsletter out today?
No, I did not. Didn't realize it was Tuesday until about 5 o'clock.
Oh, well, good. Then I won't feel like I got left out.
No, I was having problems with the web server, and I started screwing with that and didn't put the other one out. So I'll put it out tomorrow.
Okay.
Do we know if we're having a meeting this month?
September 12th, yeah.
I mean, virtual one or real one?
Oh, I haven't heard that we changed. I figured it'd be virtual is my guess, but I mean, nothing's changed. It is what I understand, but I didn't ask.
We ought to be getting really close to being able to go back to live stuff here soon.
Yeah, but
you know,
we get something. I either have the vaccine or I have salt water in my veins. I'm part of the vaccine program. So
Oh, okay.
um,
You may have a placebo, huh?
yes, that 50-50 odds that you get it or you get the placebo. But either way, they said that as soon as they go live with it, they'll if I've got salt water then or saline, they'll put the vaccine in pronto. But yeah, I did that last week. Got set up for that last week.
Well, one of these days we're going to have to put our foot into it, and
You got to be exposing yourselves though if you're going to find something out about it. That would suck if you had saline.
You really want me to do that here? I mean, I can.
No.
Please don't. Please don't.
No,
Yeah.
no, but that's more of this weird science is sort of
So Jared, I
this
think
whole
Jared
thing has been a bunch of weird science. They got on and tried to justify their fatality statistics this evening on the news, and in the end, they didn't really say anything.
Yeah, Jared Frederiking said he's starting to he's going back to his previous career to selling nude pictures of himself. $5 and he'll send you a picture, $25 and he won't.
Yeah.
I said, where do I send the $25 cash? He said, send me a Bofang.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, until those vaccines get out there, there's really nothing changed. And I don't know anybody's attitudes changed very much, but Yahoo.
Well, are they thinking the vaccine is going to be like flu every year? Do they have any idea at this point?
No, no. The answer is no. The one that I'm taking, I had one last week, and I'll get a second one in 3 weeks later, and that's what's given them the good numbers. Is those 2-3 weeks apart, and they don't know how long it is. The study I'm in is 26 months, so it's another over 2 years that study will be finished. So they'll track it to see how long it lasts and see how it's going.
So it'll take them 2 years to figure out if the vaccine any good.
Well, it's a 2-year study, so they're going to check the longevity piece at the end of it. I'm guessing, and this is not the study talking, it's me. I'm guessing that they're going to look at the data and say, we got 30,000 people that have had this stuff, and it's matching our theoretical slope of antibodies and T cells, and we have had, minimal side effects. Gee, Mr. FDA, would you clear our drug? That's what I'm going to bet, is that when somebody gets comfortable with the data, they'll open it up.
well, like Ken said a minute ago about the flu and the COVID, they discovered the other day that they've got at least they know they have a minimum of 8 different versions of the COVID.
Yeah.
Kind of like
they talked about that for mine, and they said that has hit all of those. It's wide enough to nail all of those viruses.
they'd almost have to make one like that they never have on flu, because each fall when they give out the flu shots to people, they tell them, well, it's about 11% effective.
Yeah, it's a different strain. Depends how it goes, but one of the cool things is that it's stored in a 70 below freezer, 70 degrees below zero freezer is where it has to be stored at. So they got to build up an infrastructure of that kind of folks. Pharmacies, I don't think, have 70 below freezers. Sam's might. They've got one over there.
I don't think they can do that even with dry ice.
Yeah. No, that's what the place that's given the shots had already had. They've done other studies, and they've already had 70 below freezers for a while. I don't think Frigidaire makes one of those, do they?
No. Not, you talking residential or commercial?
Yeah. I think you're talking about anhydrous ammonia.
Yeah, we had one when I worked at Marriott's theme park in Chicago. We had a normal food freezer that was probably 5 or 10 below, and then in the center of that we had a 50 below section that they did their long-term storage stuff. So you put the long-term storage stuff in that, and then when you get ready to use it, they'd forklift it out and put it into the big freezer, which was 10 below, and kind of warm it up before they took it out. And I had to go they had a bunch of A phones in there, and man, you talk about cold. They gave you some parkas. They had parkas at the door that you just put on this big old parka and go into that thing, and 50 below was cold enough. That got your attention.
That's funny you should say that. When I lived in Oak Park, just west of Chicago,
yeah,
back in the early 80s.
Are you there?
Yeah. I moved up there. Unfortunately, the company moved me up there in February.
Oh.
And the weekend that we moved in to our townhouse out there in Oak Park, it was a minus 26 degrees with a minus 84 degree wind chill factor.
Yep.
And the big van lines that pulled up, semi pulled up with all the furniture and stuff, had one guy get out of it, the driver.
Oh, boy.
And it took him and I well over 2 hours to bring stuff in, because you'd run out, grab something, bring it in, warm up for a while, run back out, grab something, run back in, and warm up for a while.
Yep. Boy, it was, I mean, at 50 below, your nose freezes, you spit and it freezes before it hits the ground. That's cold. There you go. 80 below lab freezer. Let's see what they've got. Ultra low ULT, ultra low temperature. I bet they're cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I had the joy of being in St. Paul in January 3 years in a row, about the second week of January. And the last one had 40 degree actual below. And everybody up there, of course, wearing parkas. They're dressed for it. And me coming from Oklahoma, I didn't have any real winter clothes at all. And I needed to go to a Radio Shack that was 4 blocks. We were staying at the Radisson downtown. And there was a Radio Shack 4 blocks away. I thought, I ought to be able to make that. I had to stop 3 times, once for coffee. I couldn't get a city block before I was freezing. That's the coldest I've ever been. And I grew up in New England and in Maine. And
well, I'm sure you didn't have a coat. No. You didn't have a coat that was worth a darn, did you?
Just, I don't want to live there. That's for sure.
No, Mark, that's one thing I learned about Chicago is you listen carefully to the WGN weatherman at night, because if he told you, and you're looking outside and you see the pavement and everything and the grass and so forth, and he tells you that you need to leave about an hour early for work the next day because we're going to have lake effect snow and you'll have about 3 feet of snow when you wake up. You go, yeah, right, that's a joke. You get up the next morning, look out, and you can't find your car.
Yep. I've shoveled 15 inches at night and 30 inches the next morning.
When they say lake effect snow, you listen to them.
Yeah, I was up in Racine. Racine, Kenosha is where I was. I moved out of there in 82. But man, that was just brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal. Well, it looks like these these ultra low freezers are 230 volt systems. They draw 10 kilowatt hours a day, and they have liquid nitrogen or CO2 backup systems. So I bet they're cheap.
I'd hate to get the electric bill in 1 month for one of those.
Yeah.
You ought to have a per vaccine cost of about $1,000 based on
Yeah, I
all
think
the
they're-
infrastructure requirements.
They're coming down. Well, you know, they'll have.
Maybe that's not the path to be taken on that vaccine.
Yeah, that's the way that both of them, the Pfizer and the Moderna, are both that same cold stuff. I'm sure what they'll do is they'll have, you know, a place where you go get them. You know, these labs that'll give them to you once they open it up.
Well, guys, I gotta go.
Yeah, about that time of night.
Yep, I will see you guys next week. Keep a boat close to the door. And be safe.
All righties.
See ya.
See you later.
Looks like it's about that time.